Okay, the fifth one we hear a lot is that you can't use AI in cybersecurity because it poses privacy risks. And I think we've seen a lot of articles out there about people, just uploading very sensitive information into ChatGPT and that sort of thing. So the question is, why do people think that AI inherently poses privacy risks? And then what is the reality?
Yeah, so when it's come to privacy, what people think is those models take all of my knowledge and train themselves on my knowledge and in my personal data. So next time that when they're going to give an answer to anybody, they're going to use my knowledge and my information in order to give or generate this answer. But the reality, to be honest, is a bit different. There is a few ways to deal with those models. One is actually to take the data and train it, and that thing is imposing a very big problem when it comes to privacy. But there is a different way to deal with those models, is to treat them as a model that's frozen in time. So basically, you're not training anything on this model. And every time that you give the model a piece of information, and after they process it, they forget it's dissolved. And by doing it, basically, you're generating a situation that enables us as an industry to actually use the Gen AI models and not to care or not to be concerned about privacy because this information will be eliminated, dissolved, and not basically be trained. In order to do that, you have to be a professional and you actually have to understand what you're doing. Because if you're just going to use ChatGPT or any other models as is, they will use the data in order to train themselves. So there is a way to do it. And if you do it in the right way, then you actually can leverage the power of Gen AI without be concerned about privacy because privacy is not an issue in those cases.
You also brought up a point once about the idea that this actually could be better for privacy. And I think what you were saying is in the way that we do this now with people doing all of this work, right? You're trusting human beings with very sensitive information, right? And we all know that humans are fallible, and there are plenty of examples we can give of a person doing something they shouldn't have done with that data. And so I liked how you kind of flipped that on its head. Could you explain exactly what you meant there about how it's actually better for privacy using AI?
Yes, absolutely. So if you think about it, in a case that there is a lot of private and sensitive information that somebody needs to basically review in order to make a decision if what we see in front of us is a cyber attack or not. In many cases today, we have human beings that doing it. And those humans gonna be exposed by the nature of their work to a lot of sensitive information. What website this person basically surf, what type of email they send to whom, many interaction between people that can be, very sensitive. If you give this information to a model that not keeping the data and not trained on the data, basically you generate a situation that once the model is done with the investigation, this information is dissolved, it's deleted, and there is a conclusion if that thing is a threat or not. And in many cases, basically, there is no human being involved. So there is no risk for a human being to have this knowledge in their head and to share it with somebody. So it's generating a much, I believe, over time, better situation for privacy. And again, you have to treat the information in the right way. You should not train your model on this type of information. As long as you are not doing it, it's actually a better situation for us to give the model to do the work instead of people to do the work.